I think, let me tackle the two men, but sparking conversation with women. I think there has been historically a lot of, as much as women would accuse men of mansplaining, I think there's been a lot of talking about men.
Yes, indeed.
Without talking to them.
Come on.
And so I think that was what was stirring in my heart. But ultimately, my aim was to spark conversation with women.
Yeah.
As a woman, that's, my domain.
Yes.
But what was happening is I was just seeing in as I said, in this whole, sort of connecting with lots of women and them opening themselves up to me, I was just seeing subtle ways in which, as Christian women, okay, so yes, definitely in the world, we see all of that.
Yeah.
But as Christian women, I just saw this worldly way of thinking about men. So it didn't necessarily mean that the actions were cruel.
Yeah.
But there was just some meanness, some stuff that if you really looked at it closely, you would go, I don't know that that's honoring men as image bearers. And I was seeing so many of these situations. I think it had built up to a point where it's so acceptable that we don't even realize that it's not biblical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you can just sin for fun because, that's how we talk about men. That's how we approach them. That's how we. And I was so grieved, and I think when I wrote the poem, it was in a moment of anger at a particular friend. She knows who she is. She was sort of the final straw.
Yes.
And I took this anger to God because I don't really get angry a lot. But I was fuming, and I took this to the Lord, and I just felt His love for men.
Wow.
As His children.
Yes.
And felt this sort of, would a father be okay with you treating his son like that?
Sure. Listen. So here's the thing, Robs. When I watched that poem, it was almost like that's too cliche. A breath of fresh air. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Because as a guy, I was part of hearing all this, like men are trash, all talking about men, and yes, rightly so, because of whatever's been happening and in the social thing. So for me, apart from the poem, which is like impactful, you're going to read it for us just now, and things you say in there, it was just like a woman speaking to men, but like trying to honor and trying to like see. You speak about seeing them, right? And there's just something about that. There's things in that poem, and I was just like, yo. But there was also fear on my end. You know why?
Okay, talk to me.
Like for you, but also because I wanted to have this conversation, but there was like a bit of a like, ugh. Do you think?
Can we just tell the people?
Yes.
Guys, this man sent me a message saying, Robs, you're going to get cancelled.
Exactly. Did I do that? Okay, cool. Yeah. Because, listen, the climate at the time, this was, what, 6 months, 7? Yeah. I think there was still a lot of like...
Oh, there was a lot of heat.
Noise, a lot of like... Right, and again, and me and Nicole always try and like talk about stuff even when it's not hot, like when it's not like in the media or whatever. So GB, we've done a couple of those. We've done Where Are the Men? Like I remember just seeing that. I'm like, wow. Part of the reason is I was watching the Manosphere, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things they say there, or one of their beliefs, is that women don't hold other women accountable.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't know this, or maybe you would, but that's one of the things. And so when I saw that, or I picked that up from the Manosphere, I started seeing it.
Wow.
Crazy, I mean, yeah, maybe it's one of those, biases or whatever things. But I started seeing it. I'm like, oh, maybe you could have done better in letting your sister know, like, hey, this, But then I see your video or your poem. I think your poem came first. By the way, she did a video following up on the poem. Plug. She has a YouTube channel. And so for me, seeing you do that, it was this like cognitive dissonance, because now you were actually saying, hey, ladies, let's talk. I think that's what you named even the
That's
video,
what I
right?
named it. That's what I
Right?
named it.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm just doing this poem for men and then leaving it there. It's like, hey, let's go here with this, right?
Yeah.
Did you get pushback? Because I'll tell you what I got on my end, but
Okay.
did you get pushback and what did that look like?